It might be that once upon a time we did take part in settling lands which were just establishments, um, kind of just an overlay, um, you know, that was leading, or who are the fore was forefronted, right? With just because there's capabilities of technological means of ways of getting things done, like the railroad and road building. See, my ancestry comes from the Freemasonry, who took part in not only building the roads, but yes, the railroads, all roads, and also but the machinery that built the tools to make those things across the board. There's history in my family where, yeah, major, which is just getting ready, really, it's the fresh breaking the ground of making the freeways across the United States, and the machinery that, even though there was some there already, they kept up on innovations, right, and reinventing things, and my family was part of reinvention of a lot of machinery along the way to constructing the major highways and stuff. But I know that there were other things. So, but the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is these people, that they just worked, um, kind of like Tesla would just say, well, there's something I'm getting up for, looking forward to do every day, and I happen to be getting paid, right, doing this. And yeah, the story, by the turn of from the late 1800s to the 1900s is where I'm kind of talking about my great grandpa's dad. That's getting into the earlier 1800s. I mean, now we are just kind of getting done having slaughtered and I don't want to say we by that point, because the truth is it's calming down at that point. The ownership of slaves, really, what was degraded about that system, if it was a system at all that worked, and it did begin to work. That's the thing. People began to work together, and they began to take care of each other, and it wasn't anything like they had ordered for slavery to stop, because some cases of abuse, of course, and there's always that side of the, I want to say, heritage or ancestral blood, which is very, and I want to just say straight out, demonic. They might not be as creative, but they follow the good direction well. Of They are soldiers, basically, right? They are ordered to do something. It's not necessarily the Freemasons. That's what I'm saying. But these types of entities or people came over on just a few boats that could be named, and then of course there's a lot of families that also could be traced back, like 143 of them. That's about it. And then we're kind of basically, to me, I just see them as being handcuffed, some of them, and welcome to this land. Do you have, this is your orders, basically. Something happening. We really don't know what went down, but it was gruesome, because it wasn't anything short of genocide, as far as, yes, that, and fuck the Indians. Didn't even know who they are to this day, because they thought they landed in India, and so they called everybody they ran into Indians, and still it was like, yeah, Indian, Indian, yeah. trying to explain to some people. I mean, I'll just tell them straight out, no, don't admire America or the USA. It's full of the spiritually possessed and what is plaguing the earth, and it's enabling the satanic rulership to just tame down into being a norm on a scale that is breathtaking. Only a few could understand what I had just said here at minute 5:33. And what are we going to do about it? There's people that think that abuse, straight up violating, in many ways, a human soul's birthrights, if they come in here and had a little special thing that they needed to offer up, which every one of us does. The T-bird is nearing me right now. I don't know if you know, if you can hear it. I'm known to bring them across the meadow with my same whistle. If I do it really good, that they whistle. And today, this year, I have a T-bird. I'll call it the T-bird because my grandma says that T-bird says, "Your tea's ready." Anyway, but it's called the mountain chickadee, or probably other kind of names that goes with that. But the mountain chickadee, and it's a common bird. But there's a certain kind of time of year where the males, of course, are singing their mating call. It's like the rooster. Really, if you listen to it, it's your teeth. It's like your tea's ready. And but really, I see it as just roosters saying, "Thanks for sitting through that. I hope you got into your 6-year-old right away." You're like, boy, she's in trouble. Yes, I am. I'll never grow up. I'm never going to get old, and I don't die. So now what? Did you figure out what you would want to do for that long? If I did ever grab eternity by the balls and I I find that the human body is a very, very uncomfortable place. Honestly, I get it. Not that I'm not having a great time. What's not having a great time is just sitting on your fucking ass. Believe me. Believe me. If you have the 5 points going on, you are compelled to move your ass. That's what abundance is. You're moving your ass, baby. Abundance. 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 Don't mix your words up. There isn't anything such thing as abundance. There is abundance, and I see it every time I let my chickens out. This one chicken, every time I look at her and say, "I love you," she does abundance. It's like, that wasn't a coincidence. I've been doing this a long time, and my quails will do it too. I have a bunch of wild quails out there. Supposedly they're wild, but anyway, when I dart a certain kind of vibrational frequency to them, like total appreciation, and like, you, mine. It's not a coincidence that like 9 or 15 of them will just do this wave of fluttering their wings, and it's like, that's the same thing that my chickens do when I tell them I love them. Pardon my look and everything. I have Jupiter squaring my moon, and I'm pretty sure I don't have the right people around me. Um, that's kind of tough. I mean, um, especially since there is nobody around me, and now I'm saying I don't have the right people around me. So now I have to figure out who I'm talking about. I have been doing the hermit thing, and I'm doing protracting with the entire global population their dark night of the soul. Some people have yet to blame me for their shadows chasing after them, and I'm just saying, hey, don't be so unconscious as to think that I don't matter here. You can feel it, babes, and now having gotten this far, you're probably going to be loving this subject matter because, boy, have I gone everywhere and anywhere. But I'm talking about the difference now between, and I get it now because this is what is frightening. This is what is scary. This is what is no joke. This is what gets terrible. See, the sociopath, they have all of the qualities and stuff of a narcissist, which narcissists are just very insecure little kind of people. And there's something that perhaps they haven't learned yet, that if they learned it, they would be better people. They need to make some breakthroughs, blah, blah, blah. They have a shadow. But see, a sociopath um, is a bit keener, a lot more smart somehow. They're confident in that, and they just they are the ones, or narcissists that, because we've talked about this before, and I didn't know that there's a subtle difference, and this is who the sociopath is. They're the ones that at all costs want to win. Every little thing is a game, especially right in their relationships. They can be really bad. You can sense it right away. Um, uh, but then again, you won't be able to. They are playing it. It could be on an intellectual level, but automatically you need to know that they are thinking that they are the superior one, and they will start doing things to you. Unlike a narcissist won't do things to you on an energetic level that is unacceptable, very unacceptable on a human ethical level. Like a common human ethic just gets pulled out from under you. You're like, no, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But then, you know, see that can happen. It doesn't matter that they are just trying to get close to you. They're trying to do something more to you or something. Trying to get I don't know. God, I'm gonna erase this part. I just erased a bunch of crap on this that nobody wants to hear anyway. It's hard. I was trying to talk about the difference between the sociopath and a narcissist, and I think I covered enough that I know that I understand now, because that's what the main problem is that they become not deadly dangerous. It's worse than that. They ruin your fucking life. You had a life, and now nothing of it do you want of it being around sociopaths. And this is like a collective. They associate this kind of shit with, oh no, you're talking about AI or the programmed fucking storm. Well, which one is it? Stormtroopers? There's Mr. Smith. Did it just emerge like zing ding ding? Ah, nah, you. I don't know about you, but it's a flood. I'm convinced that this very uh, plane isn't really meant um, to house or home. I mean, it hasn't been converted into any kind of thing that made sense for the human being. A human being is running for their lives here, and there's evidence of it all around the world. You can see as well. Why, how, and who, and what, for what reason did they shack up on a mountainside so high up? Like, you can see how that they build some things where their doorway doesn't allow but one person, into their entire gated community. They make sure it's just one at a time. So if it's an enemy, they can just chop its head off really quick. And it's a massive. They have a lot of castles that look like this, but they're not castles. They are entrances to places where people were trying to live. Believe it or not, peacefully. There's evidence of just what were these people running from? Why did they live way up there like that? And they managed to carve beautiful, elaborate little kind of enclosures, but they're pulling up ladders and they're like perched on the fucking mountain. It's like, why? Only sci-fi will tell. I say that there's a non-human occupation. That was I talking about the possessed people at the beginning? Good, full round story. Don't think that anything exists like America or even Russia, all of those things. We don't know what they were called years ago. People aren't even thinking like, oh, God, I know, I'm looking at it like, God, an entire generation being gobbled up easily. It could just, keep just dousing them, get the weaponry more and more invisible now, and just keep them. It's like there's no more war. Bullshit. There is constant war. There is nothing but a warlocking all around me. If you are trying to break free, you're gonna like, no, did you notice you're warlocked? This now is showing up in your personal relationships, right underneath your roof. No, haven't noticed it? Well, lucky you. You haven't noticed it at any time in your life? You must be living in a 9 by 9 cinder block encasement room, and there's a little air hole, and people throw food at you every once in a while, and you're just like, all is well.